Hello, and welcome to our newest episode of Walk Through Clarksville. I'm Raymond, and today we are located at the old Frosty Morn meat plant, located just south of Craft Street on Frosty Morn Avenue. It was originally a smaller facility, but in the 1960s it expanded, and they started off with about 150 some odd employees, and their yearly revenue was around $300,000. But by the mid-1960s, they ballooned to 400 employees, and their yearly revenue grew to almost $2.5 million in the 1960s. So it became a very, very influential and important place of industry. This area of Clarksville is filled with industrial history. Just south of us was the old location of the Vulcan plant, and before that, B.F. Goodrich. Over on Craft Street, on the side closest to College Street, was the old Kraft cheese factory, and that's why Frosty Morn is located in this location, for the industry, for the business. Frosty Morn was originally a meat company that had beef and pork, and they purchased the Kleeman stockyards. They would later use the beef and the pork from those sales to then grow in size. Frosty Morn became a very influential business here in Clarksville, providing so many jobs for so many people. The Leaf Chronicle is peppered with many articles about employees of Frosty Morn working 20 and 30 years. And even though the plant closed in 1977, that impact is still felt in the community today in 2023. Some of our viewers may have family members and loved ones who used to work for Frosty Morn and fondly remember the Frosty Morn jingle.
Sing it over and over and over again.
Frosty Morn,
Sing it over and you sing it over again.
Frosty Morn,
The height of a piggy's ambition from the day he is born is hope that he'll be good enough to be a Frosty Morn.
All Frosty Morn meat is government inspected.
For meat that's wonderfully different, they tenderize these hams. They sugar cure and hickory smoke. That's Frosty Morn, yes ma'am.
so everybody join in and sing it over and over and over again. Frosty Morn, sing it over and you sing it over again. Frosty.
In the mid-1970s, the economy took a dramatic downturn. It was high inflation, poor job performance, and sadly, Frosty Morn did not recover from that. In November of 1977, the factory closed. And with it, at the time, 200 jobs were lost. That impact of Frosty Morn collapsing and not purchasing pork and beef from the rural communities was felt several years later. And in the Leaf Chronicle, there was lots of mentions of farmers not being able to sell their beef, not being able to recover, and them also going under as well. There are new construction efforts going on inside of the Frosty Morn plant. They're wanting to knock down unnecessary walls, establish new sites and potential expansions of the building for future renovations. In 2021, the Clarksville City Council purchased this property of the old Frosty Morn plant in hopes of creating a new multicultural center. The hopes are that they'll have a farmer's market, offices for nonprofits, and just a basic event center for the community.